So I saw this video on Twitter yesterday and I wanted to do a segment on it for my channel because I thought it could open up a very interesting discourse. Obviously, the topic of transgenderism and transgender people has been a hot one in America for the last couple of years. And on this spectrum of acceptance, I feel like you have a lot of people all over the place. And then you of course have your more extreme cases on both sides. You know, on one hand, you have the people that are all for it. They think if a little 8-year-old girl is acting like a tomboy on the playground, she can throw the football pretty good. And they're like, hey, maybe she's a little boy trapped in a little girl's body, which is obviously ridiculous. And then you have the other side of the spectrum who would probably punch someone in the face if they asked them what their pronouns were. And today in the video I have to show you, you have this woman who had transitioned and then regretted it. I've seen a lot of testimonies like this online, but this one has an extra twist that I think could be very telling for where we're heading in the future.
When I was in my early 20s, I lived in Olympia, Washington, and I had a girlfriend at the time.
And I want to make something clear because this kind of confused me at first. As far as I understand, this person was born a female, and so when they were in their 20s, they were involved in this lesbian relationship.
And she told me, you are a boy. And I was like, not so sure about that. But she pressed it enough. She's like, look at the way you dress, look at your mannerisms, look at the way you talk. I'm like, okay, well, I still talk the same. Still have these same mannerisms. I mean, today I wear boots and jeans. With them I wear girl pants, you know, like Miss Me's Rock Revivals, you know, etc., etc.
Yeah, so she's dating this person that's like, oh, look, you dress manly, you talk manly, you're interested in stuff that men are traditionally interested in, so you must be a man, you must feel like you're a man trapped in a woman's body. And to me, that's an absolute crock of shit. Someone's interest really has nothing to do with their sexual preferences or the idea that they're trapped in a body that they think they don't belong in. I mean, I would say you could describe at least 50% of lesbians like that, because in the lesbian relationship, there's always someone who takes on that more manly role. You know, it's the same thing with feminine gay guys. They take on a lot of those womanly traits. Does that mean that they're a woman trapped in a man's body? No. They just happen to enjoy shit that women like.
But she was damn convinced. Yeah, you're a guy. So I went with it, wrote this like page essay that she wanted me to write as to why you are. I started binding. I went with this stupid different name. I still remember it. It's dumb. And, you know, went with that little acceptance.
So basically, she decided to change her whole identity for someone that she was dating. And y'all gotta think, at the time, this person was a full-grown adult capable of making their own decisions, and she still got peer pressured into making this massive change to her own body. And that's where kind of my main point comes in today, because like I said, you have these people out there who are parenting these kids, and they think that if the kid shows any sort of characteristic that they might want to be the other gender, let's say their son comes out wearing a dress one day, or a little girl likes to dress like a little boy, play with Tonka trucks, play with tractors, while the little boy maybe likes to play with Barbies. And they really think that that's enough evidence to suggest that this kid might be trans. And some of these parents these days even start like instilling that message in the kid's head. Almost like what this person's girlfriend did to them. Only at that time, she was a full-grown adult. And on the other hand, you're talking about a literal kid. I mean, before the age of around 18, you don't even know up from down. You don't know shit about yourself. And personally, I just think that that's way too young to be making that life-altering decision.
And that was in my early 20s. Once I broke up with her, got away from those friends, I wanted nothing to do with that. And I immediately stopped. And I thought I was so glad that I am who I am today. Thank God. Oh my gosh.
And shout out to this person. This takes a lot of courage to come online and say this type of stuff. And I'm sure she knows someone else might be going through this very same situation. So that's probably why she's really posting this up. Like, maybe you should be thinking twice.
Really enjoy just being me. I look at the younger generation today and what they're doing to kids and how easy it is for their minds and to just flop that. And it's like a mental delusion, because I was a full-ass grown adult convinced by one person, their friends supported me, and it was like instant.
Well, yeah, guys, because if everyone around you is okay with these ideas and they're all like encouraging you and even like promoting you to do this, eventually those type of thoughts are gonna slowly leak into your subconscious and you're gonna start thinking, huh, maybe I do want to do this. Maybe this was my idea. Maybe they are right. That's all I ever hear.
And if I hadn't have gone away from that, I have no idea what would have happened. I don't. So do I think it's a mental delusion? Yeah, I do. Are there people who are trans and so, well, you know what? Fine. But I really do feel like it's not okay, and especially for the younger kids. Especially, it's not okay.
I think in general, telling someone else who they are and what they should be, especially when it comes to making a drastic change to their body and the chemistry of their brain and just everything, that should always be up to the individual. And I think that individual needs to be to an age where they can really comprehend what they're doing.
If that happened to me in my early 20s and I was convinced that quick, imagine these younger kids with just like a single teacher telling them, you are not a boy, you're a girl, or the other way around.
Listen, all I gotta say is, guys, shout out to all you parents out there. I'm sure parenting in this day and age is really fucking hard, and everyone wants to feel like what they think is right. I just thought this was interesting because even earlier this year when we had the discussion about Leah Thomas, if y'all don't remember, that's the trans swimmer who won the NCAA championship. Even back when we had that discussion, I remember there were people in the comment section saying like, oh, for this to be fair, you know, these people need to transition before they reach puberty. And to me, that's just like out of the question. I mean, like I said, some people might really feel like that even into their adult life. And they might have even felt that way since they were a kid. But I just think people should leave kids alone until they're old enough to make that decision on their own. But let me know what you guys think about this down below. I'm sure the comment section is going to be a real battlefield today. Y'all try and remain somewhat polite with the discourse. But as always, I do want to thank you guys for watching and subscribing today. As you guys know, it's been your boy, the Tan Superman. And some other videos out here need to get covered, so I'm out. Peace!